What's my fellow coders? Welcome back to Think and Code. And today we are going to talk about how modern apps actually work. So, any kind of app, let's assume ChatGPT, Gemini, or Facebook, Instagram, any app you have used, this is how it actually works. We use clients, servers, databases, API, and virtual machines. So, we are going to discuss each of them thoroughly. So, let's start with what clients are. Clients, they are basically everything a user can interact with. Let's assume there is a website, let's say facebook.com, and you prepare a post and then you hit the button post. Preparing the post and clicking the post button all happens in client. Now, when you do click the button right here, the post button, what happens is this takes it to the backend or server, and the server processes that information. And this is what a server does. As a simple analogy, what we can take here is clients as waiters in a restaurant and servers as chefs. So what happens here is you as a customer go into the restaurant and you place your order to the waiter, and the waiter takes that order and makes a request to the chef or the server. If they have the dish, they will prepare the dish, and if they don't have it, they will say we don't have the dish. And that's how it works in a restaurant. In the same way, clients, as a customer, you go to the client, you ask for something, you ask for information or like to do something, right? Anything can be done here, and then the client asks the server, can we do this? Is this possible? Is there a data like this? And if we do have the data, is this person has the authority enough to get this data? And the server responds with yes, no, you have to log in to do this, and then it sends the response to the client, and the client will show it to you. And everything, the beautiful UI and buttons and everything is done in the clients. This is also known as front end, whereas the whole processing of the data, how to present the data, how to structure the data and send it back to the client, it's all done in the servers. After they are ready, they will package the data as a JSON that we have learned previously. JSON is basically a structure of file where we have information inside a curly bracket, and it's a document based. When we do this, we use something called API. This is like a notebook or order book used by our waiter to remember things. Client and server. So let's say client, you want to log into your Instagram. You send username and password. Now this username and password is given to the client through a API, where API has this information. API has two forms, request and response. And it's as simple as it sounds. Request means client requests a data or validation from server, and the server responds with the validation or the answer. Basically, client asking a question, can we do this? Or is this possible? Or is there a user like this? Is the password right? And the server responds with yes, no, I don't know. Yeah, so that's how it works. Usually our database is connected to servers. Now what are database? Database are applications or programs that save your data in a structured form or unstructured form. It depends. And usually when we are talking about a database in the beginner level, what we are talking about is RDBMS. Those are relational database management systems. Now, this relational database management systems are basic like an Excel sheet. We have all used Excel sheets, right? We have columns and rows, and they store your data according to it. Now, let's say in a database, in a RDMS, a user table would look like username, password, and user ID. And this user ID is a unique value. And here are the information. And what happens is, let's say we have zone 1 2 and zone 1 2 and user ID is 1. So what happens is, every time somebody requests to log in from the client to the server with something like my username is zone 1 2 and my password is zone 1 2. Now this client takes this whole information to server. Now server processes it and then asks the database, is this username and password matching whatever we have stored here? Yes, then okay. The server processed it, server said yes, and it will respond with yes, they are validated, you can log in now. That's how when you log into your app or any kind of apps, that's how it basically works. Now, moving forward, I'm just giving you the basic nuances about what they are. You can go further deep dive into it in a lot of videos that are on YouTube already. I'll link some of them down in the description. You can check them out and understand it more in depth. So what I'm talking about here is just a high level architecture about how everything works together. We are not going deep into any of them. We are just looking at how they work with each other. So when we are building projects in the future, it will be helpful and you can understand it more easily. Coming back to our whole architecture, we have covered what APIs are. API are like messengers. They take the message from the clients to server and server to client. They have request and response. Then we have something like client, those our user can interact with. If you have looked at my previous videos, everything we did on the terminal was, while we were interacting with the menus and all that, was a client, a very low level client, but client nonetheless. So server are the backend processes that occur to fulfill user request. And then databases. This is basically a storage for all our data. Before we start with the virtual machine, what I want to come back to is API. When we are sending API or messages to from our client to server and server to client, we have something like protocols to follow. So let's take an example. When you are sending an email, you need a right format, or when you are sending a letter, we have to use a right format. And APIs have formats as well. Kind of formats it uses is called HTTP. So HTTP requests are basically the way you send your request. And now we have 4 ways to use this HTTP request. So 1 is get request, 2 post request, 3 is put request, and finally 4 is delete request. So by the name, others can be easily justified. This are getting information, request to get information, and post requests are when you want to post information or add information to the server, and put is to update the information. For example, if you want to update your profile or anything like that, you use put. And delete is when you want to delete information. Simple as that. So now, next what we can do is learn about virtual machines. What are virtual machines? Before that, we have to remember something. Every application is dependent on something, on libraries and modules. Let's assume I made a Python app to get our weather. Now I built this in Python version 1.46, and now my friend has Python version 2.16. Now this is my version and this is my friend's version. Now what happens here is when he tries to run this, the app might not work because our Python versions are different. Now this could happen to any kind of apps, not just because of the Python version. Let's say assume both our Python versions are the same. Libraries we use are different. So that's why we need a lot of, if we download it all globally, we'll have a lot of dependency conflicts because they are dependent on this. If we try to use everything with the same version of Python, we'll run into a lot of dependency error because it depends on the Python. Our codes depends on the Python, not just in Python, in any programming language. When we are making something, our versions and the dependencies depend a lot if the code is going to run or not. So this is the single most reason that programmers usually say it works in my machine but doesn't work in your friend's, right? To solve this, what we have is we make a smaller computer inside your computer. So basically we are making a computer inside your computer, and this smaller computer is called a VM or a virtual machine. And even smaller than this, if we don't want a whole machine, whole computer inside it, we set up an environment, just an environment, a different separate environment from your global environment that is running in your PC. For example, when you're running GTA, let's assume it uses DirectX version 1.6, and let's assume you are running Photoshop and it uses DirectX version 1.3. Now if you want to use both of them in the same PC, what happens is this will create a dependency issue, because if you want to run Photoshop, you want a version 1.3 DirectX, but when you want to run a GTA, you want 1.6 version 1.6. So to solve this, what we can do is create a different environment, a small environment where we can just run this with DirectX, and a different environment to run just this. It will separate the projects between different versions, and as as well as not cause dependency error. We are going to explore this more in our next video while we are building a project. Python specifically, we are going to run python -m venv and your virtual environment name, usually just venv or just my env. So this creates a separate project or separate environment that is different from your global environment, where you can download different dependencies and it will not affect your computer as a whole. You don't need to install it for your whole computer. Global environment is doing it for your whole computer. Virtual environment will be for this specific environment only. Download this. So that is what we are going to use to create a separate environment to run different projects, because we'll have multiple projects and different projects will need different dependencies, different libraries, different modules. That's why we need to understand what virtual environment is, and this is very important when it comes to deploying your server as well. So that is it for today, and we explored a lot of things today. It was mostly theoretical. Happy coding, keep coding. I'll see you in the next one.